The sky was quiet that evening. Ryan stood outside his home, watching the stars. He always loved the silence of the night. In his arms, he held his 3-year-old daughter, Zara. She was half asleep, her small hand gripping his shirt. He looked at her face and smiled. She had her mother's eyes, deep, shining, and full of mystery. Her mother, Kale, was not human. She came from a distant planet called Leora. 3 years ago, she disappeared without a word, leaving Ryan and the baby behind. No one believed his story. A woman from another world? They called him Mad. But he knew the truth. That night something changed. A low hum filled the air. Ryan's body tensed. The hum grew louder, sharper. It wasn't the sound of any Earth machine. It was ... alien. Zara opened her eyes. "Daddy, what's that noise?" He didn't answer. He was staring at the sky. Lights, red, green, and blue, moved fast across the stars. Then they stopped. A moment of stillness. Then thunder. A beam of light shot down from the sky and hit the forest near the town. The ground shook. Birds screamed. Dogs howled. Zara cried. Ryan held her close and ran inside the house. He locked the doors, shut the windows, and grabbed his old bag. He hadn't touched it in years. Inside it was a device Kale had left him. She told him never to use it unless Earth was in danger. He pressed the green button. The device glowed. A voice came from it. "Cold robotic, warning. Hostile Leoran fleet detected. Civilian defense protocols initiated." His heart sank. Kale's people were attacking Earth? Why? He looked at Zara. Was she in danger? Was this somehow connected to her? Outside, loud explosions rocked the town. Sirens screamed. The news reported unknown objects falling from the sky. The military was silent. Nothing was working. Phone signals were dead. No internet. Complete blackout. Ryan didn't wait. He grabbed a coat, a flashlight, some food, and Zara. He left his house and headed toward the underground shelter hidden beneath the old church ruins, one of the few secrets Kale had shared with him. As they ran through the smoke-filled streets, he saw strange shadows, creatures, not human. Tall, silver-skinned, their eyes glowing blue. They moved without sound. Some carried weapons that didn't look like guns, but they melted walls in seconds. He hid behind a broken wall, holding his breath. One of the creatures turned its head toward him but kept walking. For now, they were safe. Inside the shelter, he finally caught his breath. Zara was shaking, her face pale. He hugged her. "I want Mommy," she whispered. He didn't answer. What could he say? Kale had left. She had chosen to leave. And now her people were here, starting a war. But deep inside, a part of him refused to believe Kale was behind this. She wasn't cruel. She had loved him. She had loved Zara, hadn't she? The device in his pocket beeped again. Incoming transmission. Origin, Leora. Classification, Royal Frequency. He hesitated, then pressed it. A voice came through, weak, tired, but familiar. "Ryan, if you can hear this, I'm sorry. I didn't want this. I tried to stop them. I'm coming back, but I need your help. They'll come for the child. Hide her. Protect her. I'll explain everything. Just stay alive." The message ended. Ryan stood frozen. Kale was alive. She wasn't leading the war, she was trying to stop it. But what did she mean? They'll come for the child? Zara? Why? What? Was she hiding? Before he could think more, a loud crash echoed from above. The shelter shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. They had found him. He grabbed Zara and the device. He knew this was no longer just about survival. It was about answers, about truth, and maybe saving both Earth and the only woman he had ever loved. Ryan didn't. Wait, He grabbed Zara and dashed toward the back exit of the shelter. Dust and stone rained down as the ceiling cracked. Something heavy moved above them. Then a sharp screech metal against concrete. He pushed open the rusted door and slipped into the tunnel. It was dark and narrow, filled with the smell of damp, earth, and old secrets. This passage led to the forest beyond the town. Cale had shown it to him once, long ago. Behind them, heavy steps followed. The alien soldiers were inside the shelter now. Zara clung to his shoulder, silent but scared. Ryan whispered, "Just a little more. We're almost out." They ran. Minutes passed like hours. Then he saw moonlight ahead. He stepped into the forest, breathing hard. The night was cold. But he didn't stop. He couldn't. The aliens had come. For Zara. Cale's warning echoed in his head. They'll come for the child. Hide her. But why? What made his daughter so important? He reached a small cave, one he used as a kid. He laid Zara down, wrapped her in his jacket, and took out the alien device again. "Cale," he whispered. "If you can hear me, come now." No reply. Just static. He leaned back, his thoughts racing. 3 years ago, Cale had arrived on Earth, alone, injured. She never told him much about Leora, just that she was part of a royal family, and that her people didn't approve of her being with a human. They had fallen in love anyway. But then she left. Disappeared, taking only a small bag and her secrets. Now he understood. She hadn't left out of choice. She had been taken. Zara stirred in her sleep. Ryan brushed her hair from her face. Suddenly, a sound. Not footsteps, but a ripple in the air. Like the world bending. He grabbed a broken pipe from the cave floor, stood in front of Zara, and waited. A figure appeared at the cave's entrance. Tall, armored, silver-skinned, but something was different. It didn't attack. It raised one hand. Slowly. Then it spoke. Not with words, but directly into Ryan's mind. "Human, you are the father." Ryan stepped back. "Who are you?" "I am Varuan, commander of the Royal Purity Division. The child carries the Forbidden's bloodline. She must be taken to Leora." "No," Ryan said. "She's not going anywhere. Your refusal is expected, but pointless." The air shimmered again. More figures appeared behind Varuan. He was surrounded, just as Ryan tightened his grip. On the pipe, ready to fight, a sudden blast of energy hit Varuan in the chest. The commander flew backward, crashing into a tree. The other soldiers turned, confused. Then a second blast. And from the sky Cale dropped like a comet, landing between Ryan and the aliens. Her hair was longer, her armor darker, her eyes furious. "You dare touch my child?" She shouted in their language. The soldiers hesitated. Then Cale's hands glowed, bright and blinding. Ryan shielded Zara's eyes. When the light faded, only Cale remained. The soldiers were gone, teleported or destroyed. He couldn't tell. She turned to Ryan, breathing hard. He stared at her. "Cale?" "I'm sorry," she said, her voice cracked. "I never wanted this." "But they found out about us." "About her?" She looked at Zara, sleeping peacefully. "They think she's dangerous?" "They know she is," Cale said. "Because she's more than human. And more than Leoran." Rand stepped forward. "Then explain." "No more secrets." Cale looked around the forest. "Not here." "More will come. We need to move." "Where?" "To the only place they can't find us. The place I swore I'd never return to." She reached for his hand. "We're going to Leora." The night sky shimmered. A silver ring opened above the trees, silent, smooth, and glowing. It wasn't fire. It wasn't a storm. It was a portal. Cale held Zara close in one arm and reached out to Ryan with the other. "Step through with me. Don't let go, no matter what." Ryan looked up. The portal pulsed like a living thing. His chest tightened. He had never left Earth, never imagined he would. But he nodded. Let's go. Together, the three of them stepped into the light. At first, everything twisted. Time stretched. His body felt light, then heavy. He saw flashes, stars, cities, faces, none of them human. Then darkness. When the light returned, they were standing on soil that wasn't Earth. The sky was purple. 2 moons hung above, one cracked. Like broken glass. Strange trees grew in silence, their leaves glowing faint blue. The air smelled metallic and cold. This is Leora? Ryan asked. Kale nodded. Not the part one grew up in. This is the edge, a forgotten place, safe for now. She led them into a stone structure, half buried in vines. The walls were marked with symbols. Some glowed faintly as she passed them. Zara looked around with sleepy eyes. Where are we? Mommy? Somewhere secret, Kale said softly. Where they can't hear you. Rayan followed them down a set of stairs into a small chamber. A fire lit itself as Kale waved her hand. Strange objects floated near the ceiling, some kind of alien technology. She whispered to one of them, and a blue hologram appeared in the air. It showed a map of Leora. Red dots were spreading across it. They've taken control of the core worlds, she said. They call it purification. They want to erase all mixed bloodlines. Anyone with a trace of human connection is marked as a threat. Rayan stepped closer. So this is about your people cleaning their own race? Kale's voice was cold. No, it's worse. They believe Zara is the first of a new kind, not just a mix, but something they can't control. She's just a child, Rayan said. Yes, Kale replied. And that terrifies them. She touched Zara's cheek. Her mind is evolving faster than it should. She hears things, senses danger before it comes. It's already started. Rayan remembered the way Zara had cried just before the attack. The way she had sensed something was wrong. I need to train her, Kale said, before they come again. Before she starts hearing voices she can't understand. Before she loses control. Rayan shook his head. She's 3 years old. She needs stories and toys, not training. Kale looked at him, her face tired. She needs to survive. That night, as Zara slept between them, Rayan asked what he'd been holding back. Why did you leave? Kale stared at the ceiling for a long time. Then she spoke. They found me when Zara was born. I thought I could hide, but the sensors in her blood activated. She carries something ancient, something lost during the wars. A spark of consciousness that doesn't belong to either of us. Some call it the first code. I don't fully understand it. Rayan frowned. You're saying she's not just ours? Kale nodded. She's ours, but something inside her awakened. It drew attention. I had to go to stop the hunters from tracking her. I didn't know they'd attack Earth so soon. Rayan was silent. He felt anger, sadness, and fear all at once. But also something else. Determination. Double quotes. If they're afraid of her, he said. We teach her to be something even they fear. Kale looked at him. That's not what I wanted for her. No, he said. It's what you need to survive. Outside. The sky turned red. From deep in the forest, a sound echoed. A single note. Not music. A signal. They had been found again. Asterisk. The sound was steady. One long, low note like a flute played underwater. Kale froze. That sound, she said, standing slowly. It's a locator pulse. They're close. Too close. Rayan grabbed his bag. Can we run? Kale shook her head. No. The forest is watching now. We'd never make it. Zara was still asleep, her tiny hand resting on Kale's arm. Then, something strange happened. The air inside the cave grew colder, but not from wind. The fire dimmed on its own. The walls began to hum softly. Zara opened her eyes. I heard the voice again, she whispered "Ray" and leaned close. What voice, sweetheart? Zara looked at him calmly. The one that lives in me. Rayan and Kale exchanged a look. Kale knelt beside her daughter. Did it say anything? Zara nodded. It said, he is coming. He remembers the code. Kale's face went pale. No, it can't be him. He was supposed to be dead. Rayan stood. Who is he? She didn't answer at first. Then. His name is Kor, a former prime seer, long ago. He tried to control the first code. He believed it was a weapon, that it could make him into something more than a Leoran, something godlike. Rayan frowned. What happened? The code rejected him. It almost killed him. We thought he was destroyed. She looked at Zara. But if he's coming now, it means he knows the code has been reborn inside her. Suddenly, the fire in the cave blew out completely. Total darkness. Then footsteps. Not from the forest. From inside the cave, Rayan raised a flashlight. A figure was standing in the shadows of the lower tunnel, tall, wrapped in a long cloak, its face hidden behind a smooth silver mask. Don't move, Rayan warned. The figure spoke. His voice was calm, cold. You are already moving toward death, but I did not come to kill the child. Kale stepped forward, eyes glowing faintly. Kor, the figure removed his mask. His face was cracked skin like burned stone, eyes white with no pupils. But there was a strange energy around him, like the air bent slightly when he moved. Kale, he said softly, still clinging to your mistakes. Kale summoned light to her palms. You'll leave her alone, Kor chuckled. You don't understand. I don't want to harm the child. I want to protect her. Rayan stepped in. By tracking her across galaxies? Kor turned to him. You must be the father. The code chose strange blood indeed. He stepped closer. Zara stared at him, unafraid. She knows me, Kor said. She remembers the code's pain, even in this small body. Kale's voice was sharp. Stay away from her. But Zara stood up and walked toward Kor. It's okay, she said. He's sad. Rayan tried to stop her, but Kale put a hand on his arm. Wait, she whispered. Zara touched Kor's hand. For a moment, the cracked skin healed. His eyes flickered with color. Then he pulled away, breathing hard. She's stronger than I thought. He looked at Kale. They'll come for her in days, not weeks. She's already sending signals through the deep net. The what? Rayan asked. Kale answered. A layer of the mind network. Only the most ancient beings can access it. It hasn't been used in generations. And now our daughter is sending messages through it? Rayan said. She doesn't know she's doing it, Kor said. But others will hear her. The loyalists. The ones who still believe in purity. They will not show mercy. Kale stepped forward. Then help us. You said you wanted to protect her. Prove it. Kor stared at them all. I will train her. But not in the ways you know. You must prepare too. The war you saw on Earth was only the beginning. He raised his hand. A small orb floated toward Zara. It hovered over her head and pulsed gently. She will understand soon, he said. But when the time comes, she will have to choose between power and peace, between your world and ours. With that, he vanished. No portal, no light. Just gone. Zara looked at the orb, then at her parents. I'm not scared, she said. Rayan wasn't sure if that was a comfort or a warning. The days passed quietly, but nothing felt calm. Zara sat in the center of the training chamber, eyes closed, body still. Around her, tiny objects floated in the air, stones, pieces of metal, even drops of water. She wasn't touching anything. Her mind was doing it all. Kale watched from the corner, her face hard to read. She's getting stronger, Rayan said. But is that a good thing? Kale didn't answer. She looked at Kor, who stood nearby, arms crossed. She's ahead of schedule, he said. But she's not in control. Not yet. She's just a child, Rayan snapped, not a weapon. Kor turned. She won't survive as a child. That part of her life is gone. Rayan stepped forward. Then give it back. Teach her, fine, but don't strip her humanity. Kor's face didn't change. Her humanity is the weakest part of her. Zara opened her eyes. The floating stones dropped instantly. I heard you, she said quietly. I don't want to lose anything. Kale stepped closer. You won't. We're here. Zara looked down at her hands. But something's wrong. I can feel it inside me. Like a storm. It wants out. That night, as she slept, the storm came. Rayan woke to a sharp buzzing in his ears. The air was charged. He sat up and saw blue light leaking from the cracks in the wall. Kale was already up, running down the hallway. They reached Zara's room at the same time. She was floating above her bed, eyes glowing pure white, hair standing in the air like it was underwater. The orb core gave her spun rapidly in the air, flashing red. Kale shouted her name. Zara! Zara didn't answer. Then she screamed not in fear, but in pain. The walls cracked. The bed shattered. Windows exploded outward. Rayan tried to run forward, but Kor appeared from the shadows and held him back. She's not fully conscious, Kor said. If you touch her now, she might destroy everything in this room, including you. Do something. Rayan yelled. Kor raised both hands. A shimmering net of energy formed above Zara. It wrapped around her like a shell, pushing her gently back to the ground. The lights faded. Zara fell unconscious. Kale ran to her side, holding her tightly. I've got you. It's okay now. Kor's face was pale. He had seen something. She's waking up faster than expected, he said. The code inside her, it's changing. Changing into what? Kale asked. He didn't answer. Later, while Zara rested, Rayan confronted Kor alone. You're not telling us everything, he said. Kor looked tired. Because I don't know everything. The first code is older than any of us. It was created by beings that vanished before our kind ever walked. Then why is it in her? Maybe by accident, maybe by design. Or maybe, she called it. Rayan's voice dropped. She's 3 years old. Kor's tone dropped lower. Not anymore, not entirely. That evening, Zara woke up and asked for paper and a pen. She began drawing shapes, complex patterns, strange circles filled with lines and numbers. Kale stared in shock. These are star maps, she whispered, coordinates to old worlds. Kor took one of the papers. No child could draw this unless what? Rayan asked. Kor looked up. Unless she's remembering lives that weren't hers. The room fell silent. Zara looked at them all. I don't want to be dangerous, she said softly. But I think I am. Rayan knelt beside her. You're not dangerous. You're just more than what the world expected. Zara nodded slowly. They're coming again, Daddy. I saw them in my sleep. Kale stiffened. How many? Zara looked out the window. All of them. Asterisk. The sky turned black at midday. A shadow spread across the horizon, long and wide, like a dark hand reaching down from space. Rayan stood on the edge of the old watchtower, looking up. Dozens of ships were descending, sleek, sharp, and silent. He ran down the stairs. They're here, he said, just like she said. Kale was already in the control room. Old machines came to life under her touch. Holograms bloomed in the air, maps, energy fields, movement patterns. Kor stood still, his eyes locked on the sky. They're using drop silos, he muttered. They're not here to threaten. They're here to erase. Kale turned. How long do we have? Minutes, he replied. Maybe less. Zara entered the room quietly. She wasn't scared. Her face was calm. I can stop them. She sighed. Kale knelt down. Not alone, Zara nodded. I know. But I need to try. The orb core had given her now hovered constantly near her shoulder. It pulsed in sync with her heartbeat. When she walked, it followed her like a quiet guardian. Kale opened a secure panel in the wall. Inside were 3 suits light armor, fitted for speed, not war. She handed one to Rayan. You're going with her. He froze. Me? She. Listen to you. You help her stay grounded. Just being near you might keep the code from pulling her too far. Kor added, the more pressure she feels, the more unstable she becomes. Your presence is a counterweight. Zara took Rayan's hand. Don't be afraid, Daddy. I won't let them take me. Rayan looked into her eyes. She was still his daughter. But she was also something more. Something the invaders feared and maybe something they should. They moved to the outer defense platform, a high cliff that overlooked the valley. Kale stayed behind to control the base's defenses. Kor climbed to the highest point of the fence of the tower, watching the skies with his unreadable eyes. As the first wave of dropships landed, the ground trembled. Lioran soldiers poured out sleek armor, glowing weapons, faces covered. They moved in perfect formation, fast, silent, merciless. Zara stepped forward. The wind swirled around her. She raised one hand. The orb beside her expanded into a disk of pure light. The soldiers stopped. Their weapons glowed, but they didn't fire. They stared at her like they were seeing something ancient, something holy. Or cursed. Then a voice rang out from the largest ship. A deep, clear voice projected through the entire valley. Zara, child of the code, come with us. There is still time to choose peace. Zara answered without hesitation. No. A pause. Then you will fall with the rest. The soldiers moved forward. Zara's eyes closed, and the valley exploded with light. It wasn't fire. It wasn't a weapon. It was memory. For a few seconds, every soldier dropped to their knees, eyes wide, confused, broken. They saw things they couldn't understand. Stars dying. Planets screaming. Children crying in languages not spoken for 1,000 years. Zara was showing them the truth. A history buried inside her. Rayan shielded his eyes. Zara, that's enough. She opened her eyes. The light faded. Many of the soldiers lay still, unconscious. Others ran terrified, but not all of them. From the main ship, a second wave came. Different armor, darker, heavier. Kale's voice came through the comms. Elite. Class. They've brought null priests. Kor muttered, they're here to kill her. The new soldiers advanced, unaffected by the memory burst. Rayan pulled Zara back. We have to retreat. Zara shook her head. No, they're not listening. They were never here to talk. Suddenly, one of the elite soldiers raised a strange device like a weapon, but not. It glowed dark red. A pulse shot out and hit Zara in the chest. She screamed and fell to the ground, shaking. Rayan ran to her side. Zara, talk to me. Kor's voice came through the comm. They're trying to separate her from the code, Kale's voice followed. If they succeed, she could lose everything, her memory, her mind. Zara clutched Rayan's hand. Her voice weak. It's inside me, Daddy. The code. It's hurting. Rayan held her close, then let it go. Zara's eyes fluttered. No, she said. It's not hurting me. It's hurting them. She rose to her feet, weak but still standing. Then, something in her changed. Her voice echoed, layered like two beings speaking at once. I remember now. The soldiers paused. I remember who I was before this life. I remember what they did. The light returned, but this time it was sharper. Focused. Zara took a step forward, and the sky cracked. The sky cracked like glass under pressure. A long, jagged tear split the clouds above Zara. Light poured through it, not sunlight, but something older, colder, deeper. The soldiers stopped moving. The earth itself seemed to hold its breath. Rayan shielded his eyes. Zara? What's happening? Zara didn't answer. She stood in silence, floating a few inches above the ground. Her hair moved without wind. Her skin glowed faint gold. But her face was calm, still, not afraid. Kale's voice crackled over the comms. She's accessed the deep root. That's the source of the first code beyond time, beyond species. Core added, if she opens it fully, she becomes a beacon. Every sentient force in the galaxy will feel her. Rayan stepped forward. Then pull her back. No, Kale said quietly. She has to choose. In her mind, Zara stood in a vast, empty space. She wasn't alone. Shapes surrounded her memories wearing faces. Thousands of lives. Some were alien. Some human. Some neither. All of them had once touched the code, and all of them had failed to master it. A voice called out. The same voice she had heard since childhood. Not Core's, not her parents'. Deeper. Zara. She looked up. You are the last carrier. The final link. Your mind is still free. Choose now. She saw two paths. One led to silence, a purge of the code, cutting it from her forever. It meant peace. A human life. Safety. The other path led to expansion, embracing everything the code had stored. Power beyond limits, but isolation too. She would never again be fully herself. Or fully human. In the real world, Rayan reached out to her. Zara, if you can hear me, come back to us. You're enough. You don't have to prove anything. Just be you. Kale was crying now. We love you. No matter what you choose. Zara opened her eyes. The light around her faded slightly. The crack in the sky trembled. She spoke calmly. I understand now. She raised her hand, and the soldiers, those who had come to destroy her, froze in place. Their armor cracked. Their weapons dropped. They didn't fall. They simply forgot. Forgot why they were fighting. Who they were following. Why they hated. The energy Zara released wasn't fire. It wasn't destruction. It was memory, raw and real. She showed them what they were, what they had done, and what they had lost. Some cried. Some dropped to their knees. A few ran into the woods, never to be seen again. Then the sky mended itself. The crack sealed. Zara dropped back to the ground and stumbled. Rayan caught her in his arms. You came back, he whispered. She looked at him with tired eyes. I kept part of it. The rest, I let go. Kale rushed over and held both of them. You did it, baby. You did it. Core stood far away, watching. For the first time in years, his face showed something like awe. She's not the end of the code, he said quietly. She's the beginning of something else. In the days that followed, the Loyalist armies vanished. The planet Leora began to rebuild. Zara still heard the code softly, like a song in the distance, but it no longer controlled her, and she no longer feared it. One morning, she asked her parents, Can we go home? To Earth? Kale looked at Rayan. He smiled. Yeah, I think the galaxy's had enough of us for now. As the ship rose toward the stars, Zara looked out the window. She didn't know what she would become, but she knew one thing for certain. She would never be just human, and she would never be alone.